Welcome to today's reveal. Driving for rideshare after the lockdown, but still during a pandemic. What is it like? Mr. Revealing here. Today I have a very unique reveal. As you probably don't know, from time to time I like to dabble with driving with rideshare, both Uber and Lyft. And I have not for the past several months, obviously due to world events, due to everything shutting down. So most of that time I did not do it just out of safety. I was afraid to go out and do it. So now we are approaching the end of May. My state is almost completely open. Everything pretty much is open with limited capacities everywhere. So I think I feel a little more comfortable to get out there and to give it a try. So obviously there's been some changes. As drivers, we have to wear these all the time. They also recommend that you drive with the windows open as much as possible. So I will leave the windows open a crack. Now, I have spoken to other drivers, and according to them, no passengers seem to be wearing masks, but they're supposed to be wearing them. So I will let you know what the experience is here for me, what I run into. Hopefully everything goes smooth. Again, I feel a lot more comfortable now in our state. The number of cases seem to be getting better, at least as far as deaths. So, and again, I'm pretty young. I'm not that young, but not in that age range, and not in a super high risk category, I hope. So hopefully this is not a decision that I'm making a video later saying how much I regret it because I'm dying. But pray that's not the case. Again, we do need to get things moving. Do my part to see if there is a big demand for this. If people, need rides to get about their lives, to go to jobs now that a lot of things are opening. Again, a lot of the people we're driving are people who need to get to work. So this is a pretty essential thing, a really good thing. And again, this mask I'm wearing, I don't know if you see here, it's a KN95 mask. So this is the Chinese equivalent of the N95 in America, which I believe the FDA approved now. They gave approval for these. And actually, they turn out to be better in one aspect, in the fact that the N95s, a lot of them have a little notch here or something on it somewhere, a vent where you breathe out. And that isn't so good, because the person wearing it, if they have it, they're breathing out and they're, here comes all the bad stuff. So these, as you can see when I'm breathing, it goes in and out, in and out. So it filters both in and out. So I think they said with these, the percentage, you're like 80 something percent better off than not having a mask. And just the plain surgical ones, I think were like 30%. So, pretty good. So I hope between this, opening the windows, that things go well. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know after my first ride. Obviously, I can't show you video of passengers, but I will let you know how it goes. So I will see you in just a few. Okay, I just finished my first ride, and it was a very short ride, about 2 miles, and it happened to be a man who wasn't in the best health, had a walker. So, you're not supposed to really touch anything they're putting in the car, but, a person with a walker can't really get their walker in the car without assistance. So, unfortunately, I have towels and everything to handle things should I run into this. But as it would happen, the very first ride, I'm having to touch something, made me really uncomfortable. But I did ride with the windows open. I pulled up with them open, so you can see here. I have the front window and I have the back window. I don't know if you can see that back here, but that is open as well. But yeah, took the rider to a shelter. So fortunately, I had my hand sanitizer ready to go. As soon as it's done, scrubbed up. Also wiped everything down that the passenger was in. So at least we got the ball rolling. I was happy it wasn't a long ride. I guess you hear, it's amount of time that you're in confined spaces. So I would imagine between the masks, between the windows being open, short ride, that everything should be okay. Now, granted, note, as I'm hearing everywhere else, didn't wear a mask. He did not have a mask on. He wasn't hacking or sneezing or anything like that, but that's just a matter of time, I could imagine. So that's how the first one went. So let's see what we continue to get and see how much more comfortable we become. And I did notice it looks like as far as earnings for the driver. Now that was the whole trip, was the passenger was complaining about how expensive the trip was. Like I said, it was probably less than 2 miles, the ride. And he was complaining that it was costing him $8 or close to $8 for a 2 mile ride. He said he would have walked it if he didn't have a walker. So that kind of made sense. But from what I received out of the ride, because we get a lot less, it seemed higher than normal. So maybe they increased the amount. We didn't make much on the ride, but maybe they're doing that. Maybe they just raised prices. I don't know. I haven't researched any of that. But so there it is. There's the first ride. Your heart rate starts racing. You get a little, anxious, and it worked. It went through. So we'll continue. I'll keep you updated for the rest of the day. See how much longer I am going to do this. One bad thing is it's very hot here. It's actually cooler than it's been, but because it's kind of overcast. But we're at my car says 86 degrees right now outside, and when I have these windows open, that doesn't help any. So the air is going to be running on its highest. So we will see. I'll catch you in a little bit yet again. All right, second ride. Great gentleman. It was a pickup from a Walmart, and getting to talk to the guy. Turns out he works in a hospital. Does work in ERs and stuff, and he does a lot of supplies doctors with all their equipment and everything in all the different rooms. So they asked him how it was, and he just said he thinks it's probably worse than they let on. But he did say most people that he's running across, because he has to go buy all these rooms, he does say that they have a lot of elderly and a lot of elderly who have been there for a long time. So it's scary. Something he brought up an interesting point, and he said it's it's nice that they're saying how they're all heroes in the hospitals now. He said, but to be real, they've always been heroes and never got the recognition. So they're always saving lives. So something to think about. I guess we don't think about it when there's not a crisis going on, but really great guy. He said he's been taking a lot of these rides, so just ask how they've been, and he says a lot of them offer hand sanitizer when he comes in, and they're all obviously wearing masks. He wore a mask most of the time, but I think that's because he actually mentioned, he said, people are just selfish, not thinking of other people. So I think that's a mindset that those that are trying to protect, are trying not to be selfish, trying to think of other people. So good for him. Great guy. I really don't want to encourage talking but he had a mask on, so we had a great conversation. So that's what I really miss about this, is the people, meeting the people, having great conversation. So that was a great ride. Let's hope all of them remain like that. Okay, my last ride I just finished. A very nice lady from the Carolinas, and coincidentally, she too is in the medical field. She is a nurse. So, able to have a conversation, see how the situation was there. She said it's not near as bad as a lot of areas, but her biggest concern was that the reality is the shortness of supplies that they ran into. She said a lot of times they've run low, and she said with the patients she needs certain things, and it's getting scarce and has been for a while. So interestingly, her take was hopefully after all this that manufacturing will rev up in America for supplies and for medications so that we never fall into this. She had a great mental attitude as far as looking at the positive in the long run, that as a country we'll be better off if we make the correct changes. And she was really positive about, getting things going again, not living in fear. So she asked me what I thought, and I said I'm scared to death. So she did compliment me on my mask. She said, well, you have the right kind of mask. And then in seeing that, she made the comment, oh, I probably should put my mask on. And then she went ahead and put her mask on. So I didn't ask, but she went ahead and did it anyway. And it was a great ride. Overall, great ride. Again, that's what I miss. I miss the interaction with the people. I'm sure a lot of us miss the interaction with people right now. But we got to do it safely. So that was a good one. Again, 2 in a row that were excellent. So hopefully they continue like this. I think I did forget to mention with the lady I just gave a ride who was a nurse. She did mention, even though it wasn't, crazy over there with cases, she's been doing it for 19 years. And she said she's at a point where she now, just wants to get out of direct patient care. So she wants to stay in the medical field, but doesn't want direct patient care. She's mentioned how, even before all this started, all the diseases that they were always at risk with every day anyway. So, but she sees a silver lining that perhaps in the future, something will open up and she'll be able to do something else in the medical field without direct patient care. So I hope the best of luck for her. No mask. Am I breaking the rules? Actually, I'm on break. So I just stopped and got my empanada from Racetrack, beef empanada, and a soda. So I'm not actually on break. I'm just sitting here waiting for another ride. It is a lot slower as expected. But it gives me time to savor my delicious beef empanada. But it's very, very hot, like temperature-wise. Not spicy, just hot, burning my hand. I'm gonna put it down. Well, I'm calling it a day. I took a few more rides. Most were uneventful. There was one gentleman, I'm giving him a ride to the liquor store and back home. On the way there, he was talking about how he feels the sickness will not spread as long as everybody's wearing masks. Guess what? He wasn't wearing a mask. It's like, hello. But that wasn't the scary part. And this was the scariest part of the whole day. As I'm bringing him home, he says something to the effect of, well, I think I might have it. What? And then he quickly changed it to, well, I think I might have had it. And then he goes on to some story about how he has a rabbit and has allergies. and he coughs and has throat issues because of the rabbit. Fortunately, while he was in the car, he didn't cough. And fortunately, it was a very short ride, a couple miles, one there and one back from his house to the liquor store. So all in all, you know, those things are probably going to freak you out a little bit if you're driving. I did notice I got another ride, gentleman in a wheelchair. So in the few rides that I had, in the few hours I did this, 2 of them involved one a wheelchair, one of them a walker. In both cases, I had to physically get out and physically touch the wheelchair, physically touch the walker. I mean, what do the rideshare companies expect? Someone in a wheelchair to get up and put their own wheelchair in the car? Can't happen. So because of that, I think for drivers' protection, these companies, Uber, Lyft, should be providing drivers with gloves, should be providing drivers with hand sanitizer. Now, I know some of them do offer that, but you have to go into one of their locations to pick it up. And unfortunately, for most of the country, unless you're in a very big city, we don't have those locations around here. So I can't just go in and pick them up. So I have to use my own supplies, which I fortunately had gloves and I have hand sanitizer, but it is not readily available. I am having a hard time trying to find extras. So that's something that the rideshare companies should provide the drivers somehow, whether they take it out of what they're charging the passenger, do a surcharge for the time being, and then auto ship these supplies to drivers, at least the ones that are driving. That would be a great idea. But overall, a good mix of people wearing masks. I'd say about half of the people were wearing masks. So that I feel good about. The windows, only one person rolled up the window, but I think that was because it was about to rain. And then when the rain kicked in, that's when I called it quits, because there's no way I was going to sit in here with the windows up with people. So, again, should you go out and start driving again if you've been holding off? That is something you're going to have to make your own decision on. If I was elderly, retired, we have a lot of retired drivers in our area, I would not do it at all. Everyone else, again, your comfort zone. Make sure you have a good mask. The N95s, KN95s, something like that. Make sure you have those windows open. Don't be afraid to ask your passengers to put their mask on, because they should be wearing them as well. Am I going to continue? I think we will see on that one. But it was good to, again, today was about testing the waters, getting my feet wet, seeing how it is. Did notice a lot of people, they just were happy to have someone to talk to. So a lot of people miss human interaction. Well, that's it. That is our reveal for today. What it's like for drivers that are going back out there. Start driving again. And is it worth it? I'd like to hear from you. Please leave a comment below. Was I an idiot for going out there? If it was, go put it down there. You think it was fine, or do you think I should wait a few weeks, or would you just go out there right now and have no worries about it? I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think. And please, if you like this video, please click the like, thumbs up button. Please subscribe, click the notification bell so you can hear everything that we have to offer you in the coming days, weeks, months, years ahead. Thank you very much for watching the video. I look forward to our next reveal together. Have a fantastic day.